Hello everyone, and welcome to a daily dose of Bonnie B. I told you all earlier that this was a spiritual enlightenment channel. A channel that opens up your consciousness, your awareness, your angelic knowledge, your soul, your it inside. It's for a higher ascension. It's for the star seed, the light worker, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. It is for those of you who seek the truth and who God is in His honesty. In today's lesson, the Spirit of God told me that I needed to help you all understand some more things about tarot. Because as you go through these YouTube channels, there are a lot of tarot readers out here. Okay? And a lot of them say a lot of things that you may not understand. So that for the star seeds and those of you who are out here, who are workers on behalf of God, the Holy Ghost wants me to share with you some of the meanings of these cards so that when you see them, you will have a brief understanding of the divinity nature in which God uses these cards. Okay? So when you hear them say, take what resonates and throw out what doesn't, you can understand. Because sometimes God uses whatever He has to use to get you a message. Okay? So I'm going to enlighten those of you who have no knowledge of tarot as far as how God utilizes them. And that's what this lesson is going to be about. In the last lesson that we talked about, I talked about the man with the wands behind him. And I explained that these wands were wands of things that he had gone through. Things that he had overcome. They were levels that God will allow you to go through, and sometimes you get beat up. That's why he got that rag on his head. He's a wounded warrior. He has been to war with life, with his decisions. In our lives, we all get decisions that we get to make. In the tarot, your decisions are reflected by this Two of Swords. This is a crossroad. This is a decision that you need to make, or someone else. But a decision needs to be made. When it is in reverse, the decision has been made. When it is in the upright, God is telling you, Source is telling you that a decision needs to be made. When you see the Eight of Swords, this means you are self-imprisoned with your thoughts in your own truths. You have imprisoned yourself in the things that you may believe. You are putting you in prison. No one else is. You are. And at any time you can break free and pull the blindfold down. That's what this card represents. This is the Eight of Swords. It represents self-imprisonment. This is the Ten of Swords. This represents everybody who has stabbed you in your back. All of the backstabbers, backbiters, betrayers, disloyal, all of those things, all in your back. This 10 represents the end of it. When it is in reverse, you are still doing it. Excuse me. Reverse means it's no longer happening. I'm sorry. The knives are falling out. Excuse me. That was my human error. Spirit said no. Knives are falling out. So when it's in reverse, you are no longer being backstabbed. When it is this way, you are. But these are knives in your back. These are your thoughts. They keep you up at night. Anxiety. Sleepless nights. Stuff troubling you. This is the Nine of Swords. This is thinking about all the shit that doesn't happen. That torments you. I call it the Great Tormentor. All that shit running around in your head. And this happens before you get to this realization right here. Because this is the 9 and this is the 10. At the end of the 10, there's a cycle. That's the World card. When the cycle is in the upright, good job. You've completed everything. New cycles coming in. God can make new offers. Normally when your cycle is good and positive coming in, you'll get your Wheel of Fortune, which is a change in events. The wheel spins in your favor. Fortune changes. The letters around this card is Torah. This is positive change. This tells you that there's going to be a change, period. It's going to happen. Things that were one way are no longer going to be that way. Change is coming. Change usually happens because of judgment. Judgment happens as a result of your choices. So you see how that works? This is life. This is real life. You get to make a decision. Based on your decision, there will be judgment. And depending on what kind of decision you make, this can be a good judgment or a bad judgment. The judgment will be passed. This is angelic wings. This is Michael. He letting you know. Divine is involved in your judgment. Divine got something to do with your judgment. And when you see the Temperance card, that's divine timing. That's God's angels weighing it out so he can balance it up so that you can have divine justice. The justice are the scales. The scales must be balanced. God balances scales. That's when you hear me talking about weighing stuff up. When you can't seem to make a decision about something, you're in Hangman. Once you figure out what you're going to do, you become enlightened. See that yellow light around his head? He's enlightened. The Spirit is now giving him his answer. When you end the cycle, death comes. Death means the end of. No longer in existence. Change has occurred. And this is permanent change. Death. This will not resurrect. This will not come back. And there are times that God will give you what's known as options. That's the Five of Cups. These are options you are given by God. Choices you get to make. Good, bad, or ugly. They're your choices. And that's where your decisions come in. Okay? Get choices. Once you make a decision, this turns this way. That decision has been made. This says, I'm going to trust God and go forward. This says, I'm staying right where I'm at. I'm not taking no leap of faith. I'm going with what I know. I'm showing you these cards because the Holy Ghost says I need to educate you all when I say tools of divinity, because there are times that God will do things in your life and utilize you in your life. And tarot card may have something to do with how he uses you as far as messages he may need you to receive.